Sorry? Dribble? There's dribble? Yep. Ah, okay. I don't. Yeah, okay. I'll know that next time. It's actually my first game this year, man. Because there was too many people at the start, and then I went overseas. So I've got the dribble app, but yeah, okay. I'll know that next time. Ularis, that must be Ularis' son, the old referee from the old days. He was around when I used to referee 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Must be his son, same surname. Interesting. Sorry? Have we started yet? No, they can hear it on Central? All right.
Well, it's a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 12 of NPL Victoria's match between George Cross and Hume City. We welcome you all, wherever you're watching around the world. We thank you for your support, and we hopefully can get the boys across the line this evening. We want to thank our matchday sponsor. It is Visit Malta. From world-class football facilities to crystal clear waters and historic cities, Malta is the perfect destination for sport, culture, and relaxation. Visit Malta, a Mediterranean experience like no other. We also want to thank Deca. The Deca Trifecta Weekend is coming to Shepparton on the 1st and 2nd of August. 3 challenges, 1 goal to prove your fitness. Can you do it? Make sure you sign up. It's going to be a big weekend in Shepparton on the 1st and 2nd of August. The Deca Trifecta. Make sure you sign up and challenge yourself to compete. Well, we want to thank all our sponsors and also our matchday sponsors for their continuous support. But Georgie fans, we need you for this one here. It's a big, big game tonight. A massive 3 points an offer. And if we can get the boys across the line, it'll definitely set us up for the remainder of the season. Stay tuned. Make sure you leave your comments, and we hope the boys can bring it home for you.
Number 15, Justin Spinelli.
Well, it's a good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 12 of the Chanel NPL Victoria match between Caroline Springs George Cross and Hume City FC, coming to you live from City Vista Pavilion and Sportfield Decker Park. All thanks to NPL Victoria YouTube page. My name is Alex Sivkorowski, and joining me in the gantry is Peter Pelagos. Peter, firstly, welcome to you, and this is a massive, massive game this evening.
Yes, it is. It's a very, very massive game. Thank you, Alex. My first time actually at George Cross, at Caroline Springs George Cross facility. Fantastic facility. Yes, it is a massive game on two fronts. One, the Georges have lost a little bit of momentum lately. They're dropping a little bit below their standards. And Hume up a very big upside swing, really going for the top four and really showing a lot of form the last few weeks. And we've seen this weekend some chaotic results, I would say. And last week, George Cross, that defeat against Avondale was quite heavy for a very pithy team, a team that keeps it very tight. And it'll be very interesting how they come up today, Alex.
Yes, absolutely. George Cross are coming off a big loss last week, 5-2, so they're looking to bounce back. They've had, as you said, Peter, a little bit of a slippery slope over the last couple of weeks. The loss to Avondale really put a dent in them. A 96-minute winner, equaliser against Magic for 1-1, a 3-0 loss to Heidelberg, a draw against the Melbourne City Academy, and the last win came against St Albans 2-1. So in desperate need of points tonight, and if they can somehow secure the points, they'll definitely put them back into that top, close to that top six. A loss here tonight and just puts them in that pack where a lot of other teams below them are starting to get some points. For Hume City though, look back, they've gone back-to-back wins, 2-1 over Heidelberg, 1-0 over the City Academy, but they did have two straight losses, 1-0 against St Albans, 3-2 against Oakley, but they did have a big win, 3-2 over Preston. So for them, they're looking at trying to get a third win in a row this evening, and more importantly making sure they secure that top three spot. For them though, they're out of the Doherty Cup. Unfortunately, they did lose to Brunswick Juventus in the penalty shootout, but for George Cross they do have Williamstown on Tuesday night, so quite a busy week for them, Peter. But look, as you mentioned, results this weekend, who could have predicted this? Bentley going down 7-0, Heidelberg winning 4-0, St Albans Saints winning 1-0, Dan Oakley winning 2-0. They scored in the 93rd and 96th minute against Danny Thunder, so they'll be absolutely annoyed with that. And then Preston winning 1-0, and then Avondale 5-1 against Altona. So big results there. But for this game, Peter, where do you see the battle between these two sides? Where do you think someone can outbeat the other?
I think we've got to look at it that both these teams actually, in terms of possession, they're not big possession teams. So I would think a lot of transition. I think Hume have got are in a very attacking mindset, and they'll try to attack very early. Caroline Springs have always had a strong defence early on this season. They've lost a little bit of that momentum, but they've got to keep things tight. Maybe some hybrid defending, maybe a lot of press up front. Don't give Hume the space, because we know Hume are on the upside, and they're really getting some easy goals, and you can't afford that in these tight clashes.
It'll be George Cross who get us underway here. We welcome you all for tuning in for the final game of round 12 this evening. We hope you've enjoyed the game so far. Let's hope this one is absolutely another ripper of a game. George Cross kicking to the left of screen, wearing their red and white. Hume City kicking to the right, wearing their all-black strip. I must say it does look like a beautiful strip here. And early challenge there from Zoutsidis as he looks to go back to Bernardo. So we'll go through the lineups as number 4 Michael Zoutsidis, number 5 Morgan Filer, number 8 Nicholas Dibb, number 10 Leo Marzis, number 15 Justin Spiteri coming in for the injured Jordan Tucker as Chris Oldfield clears that one high in the air, the veteran of 301 games, so he's so a couple more than that. Daniel Cutler is 16, number 17 Aiden Musa Dedanigic, number 18 Luke Ross, 27 is Otman Bernardo, and 40 is Christian Siciliano. So strong lineup there by George Cross. As that time Nicholas Dibb going back to Spiteri. And for Hume City, Chris Oldfield in goals, number 3 Zahir Addis, number 5 Braden Spink, 7 Adusu Bayu, number 8 Steve White, number 9 Godfrey Debele, number 10 Burkan Kadir, number 14 Koda Kadua, 18 Aidan Coyne, 23, Christopher Engelhardt, the Mexican, and number 28, Aaron Calder. So strong lineup from Nick Hegarty's side there, Peter.
Very strong lineup, and players that are in form. You mentioned Engelhardt, you mentioned Bayou, and I can't say Alberto Kerda, very important players, and the last couple of weeks they've really been stepping it up. And then you've got a very strong defence with Coyne at the back as well. So really a very strong lineup. And I see that Hume now, because teams are sort of sliding a little bit down, and there's Melbourne City we've seen improving, Avondale improving, Hume got to stick with the trendsetters. So they've got to get these wins, especially even on the road, where on the road they haven't always been that good.
Siciliano will definitely want to make sure he puts in a solid performance this evening after last week, as going direct. Also the Danigic, watching that one is Calva. Going back to Braden Spink. Chris Oldfield. Headed away by Morgan Filer. So a couple of changes made by Eric Vasiliadis. Just tweaking the midfield a little bit as James. Also the Danigic, Bernardo.
You mentioned a couple of changes for Vasiliadis at George Cross. I was at that game against Avondale, and when Mr. Ganovich came onto the pitch, he really made it a bit of a game changer. Game width gave him something, so it's probably a good start for him.
He's been in and out of the side, so he's looking to get a little bit more consistency. He was hampered by just some slight injuries, but it's good to see him back. There are a lot more tackling going forward. Obviously, when he's in there, Filer kind of in the middle of the park there, one back. Bernardo just needs to backpedal a little bit. Looks to go upfield. That one sprayed wide, aiming for Daniel Cutler. So Dakota could do it. The former Western United A-League men's player. What a pickup that is by Nick Hegarty to bring an experience, such a young kid, but a valuable experience into this lineup.
Yeah, I believe also he's a Lebanese international, so he's got the double dimension, A-League and international. And we're seeing a lot of these players actually join the NPL Victoria, the leading NPL in Australia. We're seeing a lot of ex-A-League players, so it's great to see. And also younger talent.
Tight ball in tight spaces. Falls for De Belay. Cut off there by Spiteri. Lofts, just needed a little bit more purchase there by Lofts. It falls for Engelhardt, the Mexican. Good ball movements here, De Belay. Overlapping run here by Coyne. Happy to go back to Kadua. Just composed on the ball here. It was a tricky start for Hume in the opening couple of rounds. Most people didn't know where to expect him to fall after a lot of changes in their lineup. But we'll get back to that. There's Adusu Bayou, the danger man. Shot comes in. Oh, skims the crossbar. It is a corner here for Hume City.
Great effort there by Adusu Bayou. And I did some research just looking at the Yscape platform, looking at all the stats of the players at NPL, and Adusu Bayou's had the most touches in the box in the whole NPL. So in terms of an attacking player and someone who creates a lot of opportunities within the attacking box, he's leading the whole NPL.
Yeah, definitely one that George Cross need to keep on the tight leash. Siciliano punches that away, falls back, the shot comes in, and that one sprayed wide. A little bit of afters on that one in the challenge, and referee Michael Lewis, as well as Mark Tito and Matthew Maroulis, giving away a caution there. But yeah, we definitely had a lot of people guessing where Hume City would end up. Most people tipped them outside of the 6, but so far you're sitting nicely, in the top half of the table.
Definitely, I think that they're an enigma team. On their day, they can probably take on anyone, and then other times against even lower teams, they probably just sometimes lose it if they lose a bit of that momentum. But they're the enigma team here. They've got the capacity to take it all the way, but then they also have gaps, and if they arise, they fall back a bit. So I think that's why no one can really read them. But if you look at the team and how they're performing under Hegarty, good football, attacking and dangerous.
Puts a ball through Siciliano. Definitely needs to ensure his output tonight is on par as he goes driving ball down the line as Leo Marzis won't get there in time. And it'll be an easy pick up there from Zahi Addis. Just playing that little touch football, just little quick 1-2 passes here, Hume, trying to get out of tight spaces. Zoutsidis still kept in play now. It falls for Coyne. And you can just hear Kadua not happy with that one as he made the run. A little dink over the top, but Kadua falls for him nicely now. Zoutsidis meets him, and it will be a goal kick. So just using that experience, he knew that despite not getting the early possession, he kept on running and eventually got to him, and that's just the smarts of the youngster.
Yeah, you can tell Kadua was waiting for the ball, it didn't come, but then there was the space. The player realised that the opportunity was there, and he got there, and Zoutsidis got there quite quickly, just got there to put him off balance. But Kadu's shown his intention, very dangerous on the right, and someone that George Cross need to deal with.
George Cross media manager Adusi Bailey was a former junior here at George Cross, so one that might have just slipped through the cracks, but it's good to see players getting an opportunity somewhere else. But it's a free kick here for George Cross now.
It is. I mean, at the end of the day, players are looking for a platform. A lot of these players that have played, some have played A-League, some have played overseas, had overseas experiences. And the NPL, we know with the Australian Championship, is brought up at another level, so it's good football, and there's always a chance they could be in the shop window again.
And the ball over the top, Siciliano's got to make sure, learned from his mistakes last week and got there first as Debele was really charging down. To be brought back in by Kadua. Goes in short to Kurta. Good work by James. So a lot of soul searching, I think, maybe during the midweek by the Georgie team, just making sure that they put that loss last week behind them, and the focus have still got a long way to go. As next week, can you believe, Peter, at round 13, midway through the season, it's quickly caught up to us.
It has, and then they got, following the week then, I think they got the Green Gully match, the derby, so a week or two away, so it's just really crept up. And I remember I was at that derby, I think it was round 2 or round 3, huge momentum, and that's when George Cross, I think as a promotion team, the first 6-8 matches, really competitive. It happens in the NPL when you get promoted a little bit, you have that momentum, and then maybe a trough, maybe a plateau hits, but this is the important part of the season now.
Oh, Debele now getting through. Zoutsidis charging back now. Good defensive work there by Benatu. They're still not out of trouble. As getting through is Kurta. Looking to go back on his right. Tried to cross it in and come off the face of James. Well, they've got to get careful here. Spiteri just clears to safety as Marzis looks to twist now. Needs a bit of assistance. Leo Marzis probably been the most consistent player over the last couple of weeks, but that one going down to Spink, who will go back to Oldfield. And you can just see the difference between the two keepers, the distribution by, Oldfield and Siciliano. Oldfield knows where the target is and ensures that he gets to where Siciliano at times does go a little bit wayward there and misses his intended target.
One of Siciliano's strengths is leaving the line. I think he's second most keeper in the NPL. Having a look at leaving the line, and you can see how up he is right at the moment. He's got a lot of confidence in leaving his line, but as you say, some small errors can cost this team very dearly.
So it's a free kick now for George Cross. Maybe a little bit far to shoot, but they drive a good ball into the box. It's headed down. It's in the back of the net. And it's a good finish. And it looks like it's Morgan Filer. And it's from a set piece, which would really hurt Hume City. They know they're so well drilled in that. There was a beautiful ball in there, Peter.
Fantastic ball, and it was actually Morgan Filer. Fantastic finish. That was a really good ball. Didn't allow Oldfield to get to it. Filer was the right place, right time, and I'll have to say he's a son of a former commentator, so an amazing in there. Craig Filer, who's commentated as well on NPL Victoria. But fantastic finish, gave no chance to Oldfield, and who'll be disappointed in that? 100 games and just had no answer.
Yeah, good finish there by Morgan Filer, starting to pop up in these crucial moments. And as we spoke to Eric Vasiliadis a few weeks ago, it's crucial moments that can dictate a game, and now it's just to settle in now, not put their heads down, continue to attack. We've heard him in previous conversations saying they haven't scored enough goals, and he feels like that's an area they can improve on, and they've got off to a good start here.
Yes, I mean, obviously the set piece is one instrument. The big issue with Sunshine Georges is they're tight at the back. They're really lacking progressive passes, progressive runs, and that's been their weakness. Being able to progressively move the ball, distribute the ball, and then put that pressure and create those opportunities. They're actually at the lower ebb of all NPL clubs in progressive runs and progressive passes. That's something they need to work on. If that happens, that'll add an extra dimension.
Well, they've caught themselves out now as Filer streaming forward. They go wide now. Can they take advantage of it? It's Marzies. Back to Filer. Chance for James. Solid effort there. Sorry, that was Dib. Benadu. Shouts of handball. Either one of the two could have, as Engelhardt and Benadu just tangling there. Almost giving each other the ball as Engelhardt just hunched over in front of us here. Might have just got wounded a little bit in that play as Oldfield goes direct, looking for Debele. It's going to be a good battle, that Debele and Zoutsidis, both very strong. They go back to Siciliano. Goes direct route. Lofts knew there was just a little bit above him. They header from Dib. As Musa Danigic tried to play it off, could do it, but deemed to be out by the assistant referee.
I like that Nicholas Dib. He's actually naturally a defender, playing that 6 and trying to lock up the opportunities there for Hume. He's able to press players, close. He's obviously man marking as well, and that's adding something here for St. George's.
It's definitely adding a different dimension for them. They've tried to put a few people in that role, but haven't been successful over the last couple of weeks. I think maybe Dib is the natural in that role, as you mentioned there, Peter. It's going to be another throw here for Hume City. So they've got to be careful now, turn their attention to defence. Looking to go short. Good work there by Curter. Still followed that up play. Shouts of a free kick, and that might be just outside the box there, but in a very dangerous position there, Peter.
Yes, so it is a very dangerous position, and you know, just showing the abilities, and this is the thing. I mean, you've got players of that calibre. Curter that basically can do this in and around the box. You need to draw those fouls, and Sunshine Georges have to be, I should say George Cross, have to be very careful about this, because they've got a couple of players there. Engelhardt's quite dangerous, who played in Andorra, the top league, and obviously in Curter as well. Yeah. Played in Mexico, yeah, so Curter as well. Both can take a free kick.
It's Burke and Curter over the ball, as well as Steve White. So I think it might fancy Curter. 5 in the wall here, so I think it might be Steve White, as a couple of Hume City players just trying to block the Georgies line. So Siciliano's got 5 in the wall. He's got to be careful here. Will be White or Kurta. It's Kurta. He goes around the wall. Oh, what a finish that is by Birkin Kurta. Absolutely sublime.
I was right in line with it. Absolutely fantastic, world class actually, that free kick. Just really went around the wall, and Siciliano, ex-Melbourne Victory keeper, someone who's been there, done that, beaten quite handsomely, but that is a class, and that shows Kurta. We know from younger days he was very highly rated at Victory. A few things didn't work out, but he always had that potential, always that X factor, and that fantastic finish. You could, right in line with us, Alex, you could just see it swerve in.
It was a beautifully taken free kick by Birkin Kurta, and that no keeper was going to save that. It curled beautifully around the wall, and that puts on equal terms, and you could see the frustrations from the Georgies bench. They know that that goal really just took a little bit of sting out of them as the loss now going forward. Dib. No foul given there by the referee. Forced to play it on as they go forward now. Debele. Oh, Zoutsidis getting back into position, making life difficult. Almost tackling there. Great work there from Zoutsidis. He comes away with it. Looks to go upfield, but it's too straight, and it falls for Aaron Calver, who goes back to Oldfield.
Yeah, Dembele, they nearly beat Zoutsidis there, but Zoutsidis showed his experience and got... Dembele's got to actually work a little bit harder. He just took his eyes off the ball and then lost that opportunity. But just going back to the goal, you could see the reaction from the Hume players in the bench. They knew that was something special.
Absolutely. They're going forward now as a ball from Steve White out wide to Bayou now. Bayou looking to cut back on his right. It's Bayou who shoots. Zoutsidis on all fours trying to defend that one. They get it back again. It's Kurta going short to Kadua. Cross comes in straight to Siciliano. They look dangerous in transition there, Peter.
They do. They've got... You can see Bayou. You can see Kurta, very dangerous. Dembele is also putting pressure down the middle, though I believe, from what I see, he needs to pick up a little bit his work rate. But they're very, and Engelhardt coming from behind. 3-4 dangerous players just really putting pressure, and you can see the backtracking of the Sunshine Georgies defence. And I say Sunshine because that was their old name, and we had a special celebration here for the 2005 Sunshine George Cross squad, but it is Caroline Springs George Cross. But there was a celebration earlier for those old NSL players.
Kadua into the middle of the park. He finds Engelhardt. He gets through, tries to put a through ball in, but just a tad too heavy. So these two teams last played each other. Well, they've played each other 9 times. George Cross winning 2. There's been 3 draws, and Hume City have won 4. They last met in 2024 in round 7 of the Doherty Cup. Hume City winning there 4-0. But they last met in the old Premier League in 2010, round 5, Hume winning 3-2. And then in round 16, a 2-1 loss. But the last time George Cross beat Hume, we're going to have to go back all the way to round 2009, Peter. It's almost, how long have we got? 17 years when they won 1-0. So a long time between drinks since then.
Yes, that was a few years just after the A-League was created. So that's a very, very long time ago. I'm just looking at Engelhardt. He's in terms of key passes this year, he's been the 4th most productive. And you can see his body language. He was disappointed with that pass he gave earlier. He just missed its mark. You can tell that's the accountability, and now he's back in possession.
Poor ball again as Engelhardt just stood in the right place now. He's got players streaming forward as Kadua. Lovely ball down the line. Engelhardt keeps his run going. Cross take a deflection, and that's going to be a goal kick.
Getting involved, the Mexican Engelhardt, really showing an extra dimension. He's a new player. I think he's someone... We always get these type of players coming into the NPL from nowhere. I mean, Andorra, it's a different league. Obviously, he's played in Mexico, which play a really nice brand of football. But he's adding another dimension where, he's not a straight-out winger. He can attack, but he also is a very good passer.
Oh, it's missed there. Heading back, Zoutsidis, Siciliano. It's in the back of the net. It was a horrible mistake. and Bayou makes them pay. A calamity of errors there by George Cross. And Adusi Bayou hangs home his 6th goal of the season.
Just the speed of Bayou got there. It just looked like Siciliano would get there and get that out, but just Bayou never gave up and just got there, and Tsitsipas would be very disappointed. And the ball didn't bounce. It bounced evenly. Siciliano couldn't get there, and Bayou, what a finish. He's on fire his last few weeks and really looking as one of the most dangerous players in the NPL. George Cross, after a great start, just a few mistakes. That could be devastating, and hopefully they can turn it around, but not a great start in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed, but that goal is very similar to last week's errors, and that's something that would definitely disappoint the coaching staff. They knew that they couldn't afford to do that against a quality side like Hume, and they're just going forward again, and if they don't tighten things up, it will definitely get real ugly real quick, as it was last week. Another ball forward, Tsitsipas. Going back to Siciliano. Dib finds Bernardo. Looks to go long upfield, but straight to Calvo, and that's something that they need to do a little bit better, as Coyne trying to look for a through ball. And it's going to be a free kick coming back.
Yeah, Justin Spiteri is playing out wide against Bayou. He's been a very formed player. One of the fines, I believe, came from Bulleen and really has been stepping it up. Just giving him Bayou a little bit of space. And you can see that he's not man marking, he's more of a zonal mark. And with someone like Bayou, with his speed, his ability on the one-on-one dribble, he's going to cause problems.
There's another ball going forward, cut off by Leo Marzis. And Engelhardt, they're just mucking around with it a bit too much here, Georges, as they go to Kadua. Cross comes in, it's a good one, or Filer. Couldn't get it clean, but cleared eventually. It falls for Engelhardt. Back to Coyne. Oh, and that's very dangerous. Referee says no. Play on is the call. That looked very close. And it's come back the other way. But that was hard in the mouth stuff if you're a Georges fan, because that was very close to being a penalty.
That's very, very close to being a penalty. And, you know, from our angle, it could have gone either way. The referee was much closer and made, obviously, the right decision. But the Georges are playing very dangerous. They're getting pushed back. A bit more of a press now by Hume, pushing them up, and they're making mistakes in the back line, and these opportunities are getting created.
Siciliano looks to bring it back into play. Plenty of time left. We've got just played over 24 minutes. Cleared by Calva. Filer. Got to be careful now as Georges stream forward. Tsitsipas going forward now. Dib looks to go out wide to Musa Danigic, who switched flanks. And I'll get another chance at a throw. Testing times for Georges, Peter.
Yes, it is, and already the first tactical move there by Eric Vassiliadis put, as you said, Swimus Stojanovic on the other side, so he can find some gaps and space in order to press back the Hume. But that's what you've got to do early on, because already all of a sudden it's 2-1. You're falling behind after a really great start. You've got to find a few solutions.
Good header there by Calva. Follows up his own ball. Maybe took a heavy touch, but Engelhardt breaks away. Calva now is getting involved. You know, it's dangerous when your centre-backs are charging forward. James trying to get back. It's a deep cross. Maybe just a little too deep for Bayou. He might just get there. He does. Spiteri just slowing things down, getting back into position. Getting almost a piggyback there, and a free kick given. I think it was a right decision there by Michael Ularis.
Yes, Spiteri needed to really man mark there. Bayou, good tackle, got the free kick. Can't allow Bayou that sort of space, because once it gets behind you, one of the fastest players in the leagues, and just going to cause damage. So a lot on Justin Spiteri. He's getting Filer to protect him a little bit, but we know how explosive Bayou can be.
But I think that's probably why they've chosen to just stay off him a little bit. Is as you said, a lot of pace on him, that if they go man mark him, as soon as he beats you, you're really tracking back. As Mars is going forward now, opens it up. Mars oh my God, Leo Mars. If he thought Burke and Curtis' goal was a ripper, Leo Marzies goes, take that, and absolutely curls it in the back of the net.
Mars is unbelievable. 2 absolute stunning goals here tonight. Worth the cost of admission. Mars, unbelievable. Well, gave Oldfield no chance. He's totally reinvented himself since he came over this year. I had a couple of injuries with Heidelberg, obviously, and after that, but just amazing. What a finish by Mars. Is unbelievable.
Well, that's his 5th goal. An unbelievable goal there. Wow, we thought Burke and Curtis' goal was probably the goal of the round, but Leo Marzies goes, no, I'm going to top that. Absolutely, and just cool at the right moment there. Chris Oldfield, despite all of his years of experience, I don't think even he knew that he was going to get a hand on that one. But that's just taken a twist to the game now, Peter, because now Georgie's back, on level terms. Now they've got to push Hume back on the back foot a little bit and pressure them.
Yeah, a little bit more of a high press, put Hume under a little bit of pressure, but also their confidence will be up. They know they've got some players who've also got a bit of X factor and can create goals. So a bit more confidence right now for George Cross.
Kadua. Well, we're marvelling over that goal. We've got to get back into the game now as Coyne. Kadua. Good challenge there from Lofts. Engelhardt. It's Coyne going out wide. Finds Addis, looks to cut back. So just holding on to possession now. Good defensive work there. And the home fans have just found their voice after a quiet period there. Bayou, lovely little deft touch there as he's streaming forward now. Adusu Bayou going left, going right. Just in the end, the defensive work as Spiteri clears, but not as far as he hoped. So Georgie's under the pump now.
How do you win? You mentioned it earlier. Do you man mark Bayou or do you play fight zone? He's got both covered. On that occasion, he was man marked, but he got beaten, and then he was zoned. So very dangerous player, but Filer well placed.
You pray to the gods that you have someone behind you if he beats you, or you get there first or try to foul him. But that's going to be definitely a very good battle there, as they've just sort of taken their foot off the pedal a little bit, Hume, now. That goal sort of just shell-shocked them a little bit.
Definitely, and you can tell now that George Cross are pressing a little bit more, are setting up quite a lot of players behind the ball just to maybe take a bit of pressure out of the game.
Just trying to settle in rhythm now as, it's a good ball out. Kadua tries to caught in the back post, but cut it back into the middle, and Musa Dodanigic just plays the percentages. Maybe should have cleared it now. There's another chance here for Hume. Going forward and a little dink over the top, looking for the back post. They're lining up. It's gone in the back of the net. And Kadua. And that's just got to really hurt George Cross to concede a goal like that.
Unbelievable. Kadua, well placed, came from the, I would say, the wing-back position, moved so far, was unsided. There was no defender, went behind them. He delivered the ball, and then you got Burka, came across, Kurta, great ball across, and there he finds Kadua again, and is unmarked. You can tell what that means for him. That is that triangle that actually causing problems for George Cross. Kadua, Burka and Engelhardt, the three of them, that little triangle, saw it before, working together, and in this time the two, Burka and then Kadua, team up, and there's a goal. What a game, 3-2, and we're not even, 30 minutes in?
Just spot on, Peter, 30 minutes, and just as they got back into the game, that's really just got to take a wind out of the defenders and the coaching staff there, as they know that, they were looking good, and to concede another sloppy goal like that, Burke and Kerr just was waiting for it patiently. Sorry, Kota Kadua was waiting for it, and to really be on his own on the back post, it's simple, basic under-8s defending there, and that'll frustrate the team. They knew they got back into it for a beautiful goal, And then to concede one so sloppy like that, that'll hurt.
It will hurt because in the first 8 matches, George Cross were very tight. We saw him against Preston and 3 other stronger teams, and we're always tight at the back. But these last 2 matches against Avondale, and now 3 goals within 30 minutes.
And Heidelberg as well, 3-0. So we've seen these newer teams coming up. They're starting to concede a lot of goals after a very good start to their campaign. So that's the level you have to be at when you're playing in this top division. You can't afford to make those basic errors. As that one just going on the side of Kadua's head, and Benardu happy to see that one go over the line. Just as we thought, the game was going to slow down, Hume City, Peter, just had another idea, I guess.
Well, yeah, there's always drama, especially when someone like Hume City, as we said, they're a bit of an enigma team, underestimated at the start of the year, no one could place them. And really, 3 great goals, 3 creative goals, dangerous situations. And George Cross came back in and have really worked hard, but just that lack of concentration a couple of times has cost them. But we can't take anything away from Hume because 2 of those goals were class.
Yeah. Just the experience of the team and the players, they know that, get it into the box, and there's always someone on the end of it, and they sure there's, Kota Kadua, despite playing at right back, he's right on the back post in the thick of things. So plenty of time left for Georgies. They just can't afford to concede and drop their heads here. They just need to continue to hold a bit of possession here, try to find a way through Hume. And when they get opportunity arises to attack where they can, as that one goes directly to Oldfield.
You can tell Nick Hegarty, the Hume coach, has given Kadua the license to attack as an attacking wing-back, as an infiltration-type wing-back that gets into the attacking half. And that's important when you're trying to score goals.
And just the backing, despite, just regardless of whether they are in the league, they continue to do that there. Whereas you see a lot of other teams, they'll give them the license when they're winning, but as soon as they get a couple of losses, they sort of say, no, I want you to sit back and defend. So, Nick Hegarty really puts the trust in his side as at Bayou. Violet heading it down. Play on is the call. James needs to be careful there. He was pickpocketed by DeBelle. Going forward now, Hume again. Getting around. Good defensive work as Filer looks to go long down the line. It's a foot race between Spink and, unfortunately that time, Cutler loses out as Hume now pushing forward as, again, just happy to slow things down if nothing's in front of him. Another run there by Calver. They're streaming forward in numbers here as Engelhardt. Still going, Engelhardt skips around. He's got Kadua, he fancies himself, but that one's sprayed wide.
A lot of ambition there by Engelhardt, and it's that kind of game where you want to take it on. You mentioned Spink is another player, just like Mars's, who's come over, I think he's come over from South Melbourne, and reinvented himself, got himself position, and really added some stability, I would say, to the defence of Hume, instead of being a bit of a roller coaster the last few years. And it's good to see players like that go to a new club and able to adapt and get back into the first team squad.
So under 10 minutes left to go here in the round 12 Chanel NPL Victoria match. It is the visitors leading 3-2. If you're a neutral watching this game, you'll be very entertained so far.
Yes, I don't know if there's A-League tonight. I know Sydney FC are playing Newcastle, I believe, but we've got an entertaining game here at the same time, and and it's been probably one of those games that seesaw, and good football. I've got a lot of class footballers here. I mean, it's not the A-League, but a lot of class footballers have got some fantastic elements to their game, and we mentioned quite a few. Burke has been there. Cardu, there's just a lot of good players, and of course Bayou.
Calver going short, finds Coyne. Engelhardt breaks away from the tackle, finds Steve White. He's found his rhythm and form in this side, as that time it'll be a throw-in for Hume City. Poor touch there from Curter, but he recovers, and plenty of space here for Calvo in the centre circle. Looks to go to the left-hand side. It's cut off by Musa Danigic now, and they really need to get numbers forward. Tried to do a bit of a spin move there, was Cutler. He's back on his feet, getting gang tackled there by Addis, and no caution given by the referee.
We haven't seen much back with Cutler in this first half, and it's good that he's coming a bit deeper to get the ball, and that's what he's got to drive. And getting the foul, we saw earlier on a goal from a foul outside, and sometimes set pieces may be where Georges can come back into this.
So free kick here, another cross into the box. It's a good one. It's headed down. They bring it back out to play. Oh, just a heavy touch there from Musa Danigic, and that just sums up Georges at the moment. Just need to be a little bit more patient when they're on the ball. No need to rush it.
Yeah, Mars is a bit disappointed there. It was a bit of a heavier pass. They had another second assist and a second chance to get it back in another ball, but just overheads.
Hume to bring it in, just in front of the players' race there. It's headed back. And there'll be another throw as Zahi Aris to bring it back into play.
Just looking at the formations, this year of Hume's formations pretty much 70-80% of the times been 4-2-3-1. Here they seem to be playing a little bit more laterally with the wingers, but generally that is their formation. Whereas the Georges, close to probably 80% of this season have been the 4-4-2, although today you can see they're playing with the two wingers wide, more of a 4-3-3.
I think because at their usual Naciel Stadium, it's probably very similar to length and width, so probably just change it up a little bit, use the pitch more to their advantage and then play it in. Well, pickpocketed there, going forward now. Mars is still going forward, he's got two to beat. No free kick given there, as trying to break the lines. Hume getting out of trouble. Might just get called back as just a tug of the shirt there. Game just settled down a little bit in the tempo. It's not really as frenetic as what it was prior to that third goal.
Yeah, it's slowed down a bit. Coyne there, good tackle there on Marses. Marses was surging forward. So Coyne actually, in terms of defensive, Jules, is one of the top 4, top 5 players in the NPL. So very important player for Hume's balance.
James. That'll be a George Cross throw-in right in front of the bench, as gives him a reprieve. Benadu just given away cheaply there, as coming off the back of the head there of Benadu. There's another opportunity now for Kadua. Kadua. Bring it out wide to Addis. Bayu happy to concede a little bit of ground here. Hume, and just recycle possession. As Calver looks to go long downfield. Heavy chase here, but Engelhard, he just won't get there in the end.
Yeah, a little bit overhit. You can tell the tempo's slowing down a little bit. We've had 30 minutes of high-intensity football, and right now 3-2. Hume still exploring opportunities. I think Caroline Springs sort of trying to slow the game a little bit, or the tempo a little bit down, just to be able to, maintain themselves but in this game.
Yeah, they don't want to concede another goal before half-time. We've got 5 minutes left to go. I haven't had a lot of stoppage time, so I would say it'll be only about a minute or so, but stranger things have occurred. But something that Eric Vasiliadis will know, that if they can at least be a goal down, that there's still a chance within this game. If they can sneak one before half-time, will be even better. As Hume now through Calver can go straight in the middle as Engelhardt. Marzi's there to pick things up, James. Oh, he turns it over there, but it will be a free kick called by the referee there.
Yeah, James a couple of times been a little bit disappointing, sloppy. He got away with that one with a free, but he probably won't be happy with his performance this first half. He just hasn't, he's been the leader, just hasn't been as tidy as he normally was.
I'm not too sure if it's the players around him just letting me know who's around him, or whether it's just not awareness. And so that's something that's maybe that the players around him just need to get behind him and say, hey, you've got someone on, get rid of it quickly. Whereas if they're quiet, he thinks he has all the time in the world. Dib. Beautiful switch from Dib. Mr. Danigic now brings it down, and then more involvement from him. He switches it to his counterpart in Marzi's, but just no one there around. James, oh, it's blocked. It was a solid effort there as he follows up his own ball. Recycles it back to Filer. He darts one, but straight to Engelhardt, who cuts it off now. Hume looked to break away. And Cutler giving away a free kick.
Yeah, no yellow card there, but Cutler just making the foul, making sure that Hume didn't break.
Engelhardt, it's quickly taken by Hume. Want to get things going. Can they get a third? It's a lovely touch there. It's Engelhardt, he's in. Good save by Siciliano. It's eventually cleared. Oh, they just look so good in the box there, don't they, Hume? Peter?
They do. They were one of the teams that pretty much, as I mentioned earlier, that Bayou's had the most touches in the box, the attacking box in the whole league, and you can see that they love getting in the box. They've got the players who can dribble, who can get in, and that cause a lot of grief. And you can see George Cross are worried about that because they're getting easily into the box.
It's just those little touches that they do, Hume. It just catches them out. It's nothing special, just a little bit of a flick on, and it just creates havoc and causes them to get through. And that's the knowledge that the players have with Hume is, hey, this ball's going to come at me. I've got to be ready for it to make sure I'm on the end of it. 2 minutes left to go here in this round 12 Chanel NPL Victoria match at Decker Park. We thank you all for tuning into this game. 5 goals before half-time. I don't think anyone expected that. 2 brilliant goals as well. If you have to look back at the replay and have a look at them and take a pick between which one is probably goal of the round, as Oldfield goes straight down the middle. Benatu bounces off White. Musa Deganic just out of position. Find Bayou. Waiting for the fourth official to see how many minutes he's going to put up as Oldfield goes direct route football. Got to be careful now as Debele. And it's a free kick. And Zoutsidis needs to be a little bit careful there for kicking the ball away. Doesn't need to do anything silly.
No, he doesn't. He's had a good game. I mean, he made the mistake there, that heavy header back. Siciliano couldn't get him. Bayou could convert there. Be a bit disappointed with that, and can say from his body language he was, but at the end of the day, he's got to be careful because it's very important to this defence.
Well, they've got to clear their heads now, get back into the game. It's a big moment now. They can't afford to concede a late goal here. They've done well. It'll be 3 minutes of added time. As we said, we've seen stranger things. I don't think there's been that much downtime, but we trust the referee's decision making. It's an opportunity now for Hume. Waiting for the whistle. It goes. Cross comes in, looking for the back post. Ooh. Not sure how far away was that, but Siciliano didn't look too bothered.
No, he didn't. It looked like he was in two minds. He was going to go for it, not go for it, but then he skimmed past him. He was comfortable with that. I was just looking at 3 minutes ago. Hume had 3 players on this right side. They're probably 3 most dangerous. Burka, Engelhardt, and Kadua right on this right. And having done some research early in the week, that's their strongest point, coming from the right. And then we got Bayou on the left, who's a very dangerous player. You can see their attacking abilities. Very dangerous team.
Spiteri making a run from right back. Tried to play it off. The Hume player as And he's getting back to position, but they turn it over, and it's a free kick given there. Probably a little bit unlucky there by George Cross.
Yeah, nearly picked his pocket.
We've played so far the first minute out of the 3 required. On field to bring it back into play. Going straight to the left-hand side, and Bayou the target. Cleared by Zoutsidis, and it back by Calver. It's the ping-pong ball at the moment, just going back and forth, and it will be a Hume City throw. Spiteri getting almost strangled there by the referee, and we'll call a free kick to be called. And one last chance here for George Cross. Can they at least get it in their attacking half? They go back to Siciliano, going short to Zoutsidis. Got to be careful here now. They don't turn it over. He's playing almost a central defensive role at the moment. Benadu looks to go up the field. Easy header for Calver. Benadu follows it up. Just took a heavy touch, and that one almost taking out the cameraman here by Kadua. One last chance here for George Cross. They'll go long into the box now. Is there one last opportunity here to get a late goal here? I feel like this will be the final play. It's Mustafa Danigic. Gets it into the box. Headed back out. Another cross into the box. They're looking for the back post. Oh, Cutler was there. Cut back on the right field. Deflection. And it is a corner.
Marzas, what a chance. Just deflected away, but fantastic. Mustaganovic is one, I think he's probably the best thrower in the league, equal to with Lampard, Mikola from South Melbourne. He's got that sort of technique, and Marzas just, we disappoint, just ricocheted away. What bit of an opportunity there for George Cross.
One last chance here for Georgies. It's a good cross into the box. It's headed in. It's cleared. It's and it's going to be the half-time whistle here at City Vista Decker Park in this round 12 Chanel NPL Victoria match, and Hume City lead 3-2. Peter, it was an entertaining game of football.
Oh, one of the most entertaining NPL halves of the season, and 2 fantastic goals, without doubt. We saw 2 of the best goals of the season. I don't want to, there's been some fantastic goals, but right today, 2 big highlights. And George Cross, those last couple of minutes, picked up the pace, finished quite well, and they'll be happy with that because they want to get back into the game. 2-3, they're behind, but we talked about it. Hume have got a lot of players who can do damage, very attacking players, and looking forward to the second half. It's been very open. I'm not promising anything like PSG Bayern match that we had, but I think we're going to have a fantastic second half. Finally poised. We'll see you after the half-time break.
Well, Georgie fans, it's been a topsy-turvy game there. We managed to get one back, but Hume City in the end got that extra goal, and they lead 3-2. We want to thank our matchday sponsors, Visit Malta, from world-class football facilities to crystal clear waters and historic cities. Malta is the perfect destination for sport, culture and relaxation. Visit Malta, a Mediterranean experience like no other. Also want to thank Decker Park. The Decker Trifecta weekend is coming to Shepparton on the 1st and 2nd of August. 3 challenges, 1 goal to prove your fitness. Can you do it? Make sure you sign up for the Decker Trifecta weekend on the 1st and 2nd of August. Thank you to our matchday sponsors and everyone watching at home, wherever you are around the world. Oh, it's a big 45 minutes coming up. We need all your support. Make sure you're tuning in. Keep your comments coming. We'd love to hear from you how we can get our boys across the line. We'll be back after the halftime break. Don't go away. Second half, Georgie fans, the second half is almost underway. We need a big effort from our boys, but want to thank our matchday sponsors. Visit Malta from world-class football facilities to crystal clear waters and historic city. Malta is the perfect destination for sport, culture and relaxation. Visit Malta, a Mediterranean experience like no other. Also want to thank Decca. The Decca Trifecta weekend is coming to Shepparton on the 1st and 2nd of August. 3 challenges, 1 goal to prove your fitness. Can you do it? Make sure you sign up to the Decca Trifecta weekend in Shepparton 1st and 2nd of August. Thank you to our matchday sponsors and everybody else. It is a big 45 minutes coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, we need your support. Get behind the boys. Make sure you leave your comments. Let us know where you're watching from, and hopefully the boys can bring it home for you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this Chanel NPL Victoria match, round 12 between George Cross and a visiting Hume City. Alex Ivkorovsky and Peter Pelagos with you. Peter, it's been a very entertaining first 45 minutes. Unfortunately for Georges, they just conceded a goal not just before half-time, but against a run of play, and really put them back to a step or two.
Yes, very entertaining first half. For those who've joined us in one of the games of the season in terms of a first half, I think Eric Vassiliadis, the Georges coach, will be a bit disappointed. A bit of lack of concentration, and one error there also for the second goal, and just at crucial times, just not picking up the players, allowing too many Hume players to get into the box, and it'll be a little bit disappointing to tighten up on that. But there's a positive side. George Cross have shown a lot more of an attacking mindset when they had their backs against the wall. They finished very strong in the last 3 minutes, had a couple of half chances, and I think into the second half, home ground, maybe a few tactical changes. They're still in this. It's all up for grabs, because Hume, although they're very attacking, they've also sometimes can let their guard down defensively.
Yeah, go back and watch the first half, 45 minutes. 2 absolute world-class finishes there from Burkan Kadir and also Leo Marzis. But a big 45 minutes. George Cross know they need to get a result out of this game, whether it be a point or 3 points. In the end, they really need to ensure that they don't concede any more goals. They've conceded 9 goals in the last 3 games, and it's not including tonight. So they know that they can't afford it. And I think they're making their first change. It does look like they're going to bring on for Jakub Mustafa, coming off his number 16, Daniel Cutler. So Jakub Mustafa coming on, the former Hume City player. So maybe a point to prove against his former side.
Yes, a dangerous customer, Mustafa, quite dangerous and quite pressing type player. Maybe they want a little bit more speed up front as well. And there's also just a result coming from the OFC Pro League. South Melbourne beating 4-2 South Island. So South Melbourne likely in the OFC Pro League semi-finals, just for those interested. That's an NPL team that's playing both the OFC Pro League and the NPL. So, and we've seen a lot of goals this weekend and quite a few blowouts, Alex. So 5 goals in this one already.
Let's hope if you're a Georgie fans, you don't want to see any more goals coming from Hume, and you get a couple of yourself. As we said there, Jakub Mustafa coming on for Daniel Cutler. So Eric Vassiliadis making that first change there. No changes from Nick Hegarty. So Zahi Aris to bring it back into play. So can Jakub Mustafa get Georges back on equal terms, as Filer sends a high ball into the centre of the park. Mustafa getting involved early. Might have some intel against his former side as they go back to Oldfield. And goes direct down the middle. Debele. Engelhardt, Debele now. Can go wide to Kurta. He does. Looks to cross it back in. Bayou waiting for it patiently. Kurta back on his right foot. Good defensive work from Spiteri. And they give away a free kick. I think that's something that the referee needs to be mindful of. You know, we've seen it over the last couple of weeks. A lot of teams tend to do those professional fouls, and it continues for the entire game. Maybe just need to pull it up over the next couple.
Yeah, I think a lot of referees have got the remit. They want the game to flow, and we've seen very good games in the NPL because of that flowing. But as you say, for those technical fouls that are taking away maybe a progressive run, an opportunity in attacking phase, yeah, we've got to see a little bit of that those professional fouls cracked down on. But overall, in the NPL, fantastic job by the referees here.
Bayou headed over the top as Filer, and Marzi's coming back to help. He goes back to Siciliano. Goes up. Free header there by Addis, and it'll be a throw for George Cross right in front of us here in the new gantry. So testing times here for Georgies. You'll feel like if they can get that opening goal here, they can get it back to 3-3 and then maybe trying to sneak a result here. But if Hume, you feel like if they get the goal, it's sort of they're going to push on and really put the pedal down.
Yes, I think this next goal, and look at Mars, whose work rate's been fantastic in this game. Up, down, creating opportunities, fantastic goal. Mustafa's adding a little bit of different dimension, so hopefully he can, speed up the play, especially in the front third. And if Georges can get the equaliser, that takes this game at a very pivotal moment. Yeah,
he's a very different player to Daniel Collar. He's got a bit of a size on him and presence and a bit of speed as well. So he's coming back from injury, so whereas Daniel Cutler's more of that running type player going forward. So change from Eric Vasiliades. Hopefully it's a good one for his side, and Jakub can get his first goal for the team. So interesting times here. They'll obviously look for the long throw with Musa Dedanigic. Probably go in long. He does. He bouncing around. It's cleared. They'll come back to where it came from, and another opportunity for George Cross.
That's become a weapon in world football now, the long throw. It's just seen as, because a lot of goals come from set pieces, and that's just another thing to the repertoire. And Mr. Gunnish is one of the better long throws, I mentioned before, him and Mikola from South Melbourne. But going back to Jakub, he's hard. If he gets in the channels, it could be a very dangerous player.
Chance now for Georgies. It's headed away. Lofts. Shouts of handball there by the referee, says no. Very tight call there. Couldn't quite see from our advantage. Georgie's teams were adamant that was a handball. He hasn't checked with his assistant there, so they've backed themselves in. It'll be another throw here for Georgies. They'll look to go long. Probably a little bit unlucky. We'll respect the decision as he goes short to James. Can he compose himself? Cross comes in. Free header there for Kadua. It's brought down, and Engelhardt just pickpocket him. We've got to be careful now. Georges as Dib heads it back to where it came from. Hot ball is White. They come away with it now. Heavy challenge there, and nothing given by the referee. So interesting times here by Georges. Two challenges, and maybe they feel hard done by.
Yeah, two challenges on the harder side. I would have thought if there was a handball, the assistant referee would have called the referee over. Had a great angle on that, so it was play on. But yeah, the Georges feeling a little bit hard, but they've started well. They've got a bit of momentum and really surging forward, and it's a good start. And Eric Vasiliades will be very happy with really pushing Hume on the back foot. Disappointed with this decision, but the fans are, and there's a lot of lively fans here. It's one of the places to come for NPL football. Come out to this stadium out here in Caroline Springs, one of the great places for NPL. But good start from George Cross, and I think with the change with Jakub, who's able to press and get through the channels, will add that extra dimension for him.
Bayou, nice little touch, gets away from Spiteri. They switch it out to the right-hand side now as Hume City going forward. Engelhardt puts a darting ball across the box. Got to be careful with those as Curter and Morgan Filer might have taken once. He's gone down for the count, and play has continued on here. It's surprisingly, referees eventually called the medic to come over. And I think he might have just copped one in the face there, Morgan Filer.
Yes, Morgan Fowler, who's been one of the better players, especially one of the steadier players today for George Cross. Done a lot protecting the wing there in terms of Justin Spiteri, helping him out in terms of very dangerous Bayu, who's been very steady. I think he'll be okay. He just might have got that ball where it's not supposed to be, but yeah, I think he should be okay with the medical. But just down here in the box, Eric Veselada's not happy with some of the decisions. Have to mention that. And yeah, but George Cross will be happy with the start. And I think if they keep the momentum and push a little bit back, Hume, put a bit more of a higher press, get your Cube in the channels, can cause some problems, because I can tell the defenders of Hume are a bit worried about Yakub. Although, as you say, he's coming back from injury, he is forcing 2-3 players onto him.
I think Fowler might have just copped one in the crown jewels there. He's trying to get some air back in. He'll look to come back on as he does. Siciliano gets us back underway. Headed away by White. James sends it forward. White gets it back. Deeb getting involved. Lofts. Need a little bit more output from him. We know how dangerous he can be as Spiteri looks to bring it back into play right in front of us here. Goes short. Dib sends it over the top. Just a hot ball at the moment. Dib winning everything. Good touch from Lofts. Silky. Little dink over the top. Mustafa brings it down. Mustafa Daganic gets out of a tight space now. Lovely. Sends him for a hot dog. Cross comes in near post. Needed someone front positioning now. It's Lofts. Shot comes off. It's blocked. James thought about it. They go back out. Bernardo. Cross comes in. It's a good one, but cleared by Calva. George Cross just knocking on the door here. No handball again, so time and time again, Georges feel hard done by the decisions here.
Good point you raised there about Lofts, Alex. Lofts, really the first half we hardly heard of him, and he's supposed to be the creative 8 player to open up the attack for Georges, and finally he's a last 2-3 minute cameo, getting back into the game. Very important player, because we know he can also score, and we know he's very important to be that 8-10 attacking midfielder.
Soutsidis, Filer, looks to have recovered, sends a high ball in the air. And it's a free kick. Braden Spink to bring it back in for George Cross. For Hume City. George Cross now looking to turn their attention to defence. Bayu brings it under control. Good work there from Mr. Deganagic. Filer. And just needs to make sure his passes reach their intended target as Hume get out of trouble. Calva. Oh, it's a good important block there by James, almost pickpocketing. Addis. That surely is a free kick. Well, a couple of decisions have gone the other. Neither team are going to be happy with, and I sort of tend to agree with both sides of the coaches here. It's probably some decision that could have gone either way as Hume City now go forward. Zoutsidis just losing his balance, gets back in, and it is a corner.
Yes, Dembele there just could have done a little bit better, actually.
It's a goal kick. We've not sure what's happening here. Peter was pointing one direction, it's gone the other way. So we'll continue to call the game as best as we can, ladies and gentlemen. It's round 12 Chanel NPL Victoria match. Spiteri got a lucky deflection. Ooh, coming through was Steve White. Puts a ball through now. Desperate defending, it's Bayu. Bayu! Cleared off the line. It's still not out of trouble yet. Desperate defending here from George Cross. There's legs and players everywhere. They eventually send it upfield to give him a bit of breathing space, but what a chance that was for Hume City, Peter.
Huge chance. Well, yeah, chaos ball in the George Cross box, and here we go.
The opportunity now, it's Mustafa. Can he find it? Oh, it's hit the crossbar. It's gone the wrong way. What a moment that was for George Cross. Could he have laid it off, Peter?
He should have taken that on the left. It was all open goal. He took it on the right, tried to swerve it around. Probably that was the near post. That was probably the wrong choice. taken on the left. He could have probably squeezed it in. Disappointing. It's Eric Vassiliadis, the George Cross coach, knows it's one of the big moments in the second half to get back into this game. And yes, just not there. We've seen some big incidents in the last couple of minutes in both boxes, Alex.
Yeah, Bernardo clears. Oh, it's headed back there by Braden Spink. So George is now just starting to get a little bit momentum, creeping up slowly. If they can pinch a goal here, they know the importance of the result. It'll be 3-3 with good half an hour of football left to play. They'll look to go the long throw here. Hume trying to get everyone back. They go short. James. Got to be careful they don't muck around if they're quickly into the box. Probably not enough purchase on it. Bayou clears into a good touch there. Engelhardt. Good work here, Bernardo. Trying to break the lines. Needs a bit of assistance. Probably should have just played the percentages now. George has got to be careful. They've got to get numbers behind the ball. Going forward is Kurta. Looks to switch it out wide. It's a lovely ball from Kurta. He finds Kadua. Kurta again in the middle of the park. Good running here. Goes wide. Engelhardt did well to get it under control. Engelhardt and Spiteri has Addis back there to assist. White. Good recycling of the ball here. Spink finds in the middle of the park. Coyne going to Calver. Just going from one flank to another now. Georges need to get numbers behind the ball. Cross comes in. Zoutsidas. And eventually it's a late whistle.
That's the danger of Hume. I mean, we've seen a couple of, 5, 6, 7 minutes of George who's really putting the pressure on, creating opportunities. Yakub could have done a little bit better with that opportunity, but you just mentioned Alex, Kadua, Burka and Engelhardt, the three triangle players, got the ball, created the phase and the danger, and we know that can happen. That's what something George Cross got to keep tight, especially when they don't have the ball. They've got to ensure they're marking and maybe some hybrid defending, whether it's zone or man marking, but just can't allow those three players that freedom.
You're right, that triangle is very effective for them, and if Georgies don't get a goal here, and Hume go back the other way, it'll definitely hurt them, but they've enjoyed a lot of possession here, but we've seen time and time again, Peter, that teams will enjoy a bit of possession and put a bit of pressure on the goals, and then all of a sudden the opposition goes up the other end, puts it away, and then it takes the sting out of the game.
Mind you, these are two of the lowest possession teams in the whole NPL. And so, but they both have to step up the possession today because that's the kind of game. But in terms of you look at it, both of them like to play off and transition and attack. And we know how dangerous they are. And Georges just wait for their time and very pithy, were very tight at the back. And attacking-wise, they score goals in crucial moments. But both have to up the ante. So it's a little bit of a interesting game because they're not used to this.
Yeah, you can have it. No, you can have it. It's sort of like as Aris now coming in front of us. Musa the Danigic trying to block his run. Or Spiteri went in for the challenge. Still going forward. The cross comes in. Zoutsidas clears. Good work by James. White just flicks it out wide to Engelhardt. Kurta. Oh, they're trying to play it. Dembele coming through. Not sure what happened there with Hume City play. Might have been a slip. I couldn't see with the Sia players. Musa Danigic, that's just a poor ball there from him. No one really on the end of it, really. Just more so just trying to relieve the pressure. Probably could have held it up a little bit more there. And Hume now through spin can recycle the ball. Almost hit the hour mark here in this round 12 Chanel NPL Victoria match. 3-2 so far. And it's gone the other way. Jeez.
No, it is for Georges. I think
it's gone this way. We're getting confused. The hand signalling, we might have to get those lights from the aeroplane, when they direct them to point which way it's going. So a little bit of confusion, but we're back on now as George is trying to get on equal terms. Takes a deflection. Falls to White. Goes back to his defenders who go to Oldfield. Oldfield there. Might have want that one back again. Lost a little touch, but not to his in target. Filer. Just got to be careful now. Good run here from Filer now. He's already got one goal this evening. Goes wide to Musa Dedanigic. Dib running in. Dumid still going on his right foot now. Musa Dedanigic. He shoots. It takes a deflection. Dib is there now. Still have another chance to think over the back post. Oh, it's a save on the line by Chris Oldfield. Going forward again. That's Dib. Took a heavy touch. Bayou trying to get back, and that'll be a free kick. Going in the way against Georges, I'm going to say.
Yes, it's against Georges. What an opportunity. And a great save by Oldfield. One of his fantastic saves. Part of his repertoire, making those big saves for a lot of NPL clubs. We know he was going to trial or go to the A-League, but we're talking NPL today. But good, I'm seeing Vasanaz has given a bit more license to his midfielders. Lofts is pushing up, so is James, and even Dib. And then that kind of pressure is actually pushing Hume back and creating those opportunities.
Fabele pleading his case to Michael Olaris. I think you're right there, Peter. I think they know that they can't sit back. They'll just concede more goals. They've got to go trying and, try to get another one and, try to get on equal terms. And you never know, they can push on from here. We know Hume have that in their game where they can lose. They lost to St Albans a couple of weeks ago. They've got it in their, in them to drop a game. But the longer Hume have the lead, the longer you'll see those type of niggling fouls as they go forward. It's cleared. It'll be another throw. Those niggling fouls that stop-start football, which will frustrate George Cross. Zdanigic just trying to get the ball dry to get the long throw in, as the Hume City bench just maybe wondering whether they can make a change or stay where they're at. Gets it right into the box. It's flicked on. It's Calver that clears. Spiteri just bouncing off the shoulder there. Siciliano. That is just got just a slice off the head, and another opportunity here for George Cross. Spiteri. Cross comes in, it's a good one, but Oldfield almost bobbled out of his hands.
You can see Siciliano right up the line. They're trying to press a little bit more. It's interesting with Siciliano, very good shot stopper, but he's the #1 long passer in the whole league in terms of getting a successful long pass. I think over 190 long passes this year, which is amazing for a goalkeeper.
James again a bit too casual there as Curter tries to change direction. He goes back to White. It's been good, or a heavy touch from White, but he recovers. Bayou coming in to help. Engelhardt now going forward. They've got to be careful here. Georgie says Bayou, good challenge there from Filer. Engelhardt will get it back again.
Big game, Filer.
It's coming up at the right moments. And that's going to be a throw for Hume City.
It's going to be very interesting, the next substitutions. I think with the Georges, they probably needs another attacking player, especially coming from the midfield or from deep. Hume, do you lock up the game? But you're still dangerous. You've got your triangle of players we mentioned earlier. Dembele's still pushing up. And you obviously want to go for the 4-2 because you are an attacking team.
James, just nothing in front of him now, just has to slow down. He eventually goes wide. Marzius tried to flick it on, but cleared by Calver. Debele puts a lovely through ball. Low cross, Filer. Not expecting more time, Bernardo just heads it away. James clears, they get a little distance, but enough as they wanted, as Addis now looks to go down the line. He does. Bayou gets around his man Spiteri, but Spiteri gets back into position. Dib just holding the shirt play on as he called. Bayou trying to square it. Got to be careful now in this position. Dib just clears it to Lofts, and he just couldn't get it under control. Addis going back to his defenders in Braden Spink. Finds Calver. Just a bit of hush on the ground there is Benadu. Marzi's twisting and turning, trying to get out of trouble. Hume win it back again. Flicked on there by Curter. And it's going to be a throw for Hume City. It looks like a substitution here. Joshua Whiteley coming on, number 11, and number 7, Aidan Musa-Dadanagic. So a bit of pace from Whiteley might introduce a further attacking option.
Number 11, Josh Whiteley.
George Cross needed a bit of fresh legs just to put a little bit more pressure on Hume, and Whiteley's a fast player, an interesting player, someone who can probably get wide and just create some spaces, and that's what you need right now because we're approaching the last part of the game. Georgies need some end product. That's something that's missing, and getting that pass in and getting the plays in right positions, and the game's on a delicate balance at the moment.
Debele gets out of trouble and goes back to Addis. So 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes left to go here in this round 12 Chanel NPL Victoria match. Hume City in the lead by a single goal, 3-2. Quickly taken there by Hume. They find Bayou now. Looking to take on his man. Bayou comes back into the middle on the edge of the box. Back out again. Addis looks to cross it in. Cleared there by Zoutsidis. Falls for White. He'll go back to his defenders. We've got a player down here. Can't quite see who it is, Peter, but in the earlier challenge has stayed down since then.
I think it could be Spink. No, it's not Spink. It's not Calver.
Could be, not too quite sure. Can't quite see. Calver's standing up, but
yeah, Calver's right
trying
there.
to check the numbers here. Might be White.
I
I think that might force a change as the
Sokadua, is it? No.
The fourth official is putting up the scoreboard shortly to make that change.
Chance for players to reset, get some fluids into them, and you can see there the Georgie players, especially the midfield players, are talking and seeing whether they can, they can find a strategy here, in this little bit of downtime, find a strategy in order to get back into the game. It's only one goal. We haven't been a fantastic first half, but less chances, a bit of chaos ball in the second half. A big chance there, header there for George, is well saved by Oldfield, and a bit of chaos ball on the other side, but not as attacking as our first half, where both teams really were at that high level. We haven't seen a goal here, but I think there is another goal in this match.
Absolutely. I think Engelhardt is a player back on his feet, which is a good sign, but will they make that change? You're definitely right. It feels like Hume have probably attacking when Georges are out of position, whereas Georges are trying to just attack and try to get that goal. So maybe just taking their foot off the pedal a little bit and not attacking as much, because they know that they can't afford to concede a goal here. So will that change happen? The fourth official hasn't put up the board as Whiteley will return it. As Filer will return as Engelhardt comes back onto the field. So we're back into play here in this round 12 Chanel NPL Victoria match. Benadu. Dib. Goes upfield, Yakub. Be a throw-in again, so they'll look to maybe take advantage of that long throw. Josh Wiley also able to throw it long. We've seen that introduced in his repertoire over the last couple of weeks.
Yes, I mean, set pieces are a very important part, and there's a lot of goals, especially you can get a second assist, a second ball. This is what happens with these sort of set pieces, and the throw-in's one of those.
And a long throw into the box. Handed away by Calvar, who falls for Curta. Got to be careful now, Georges, as Curta eventually gets it to Bayou. They go back and just able to turn around as beautiful switch there from Steve White as Curta just trying to stretch the legs there. Going forward, Engelhardt. 20 minutes left to go here at City Vista Decker Park. It falls for Spink. Going wide to Addis. Calva. And you can see just that pressure from Mustafa there, just forcing Calva to go wide.
Yeah, one thing in this match, Justice Spiteri and his other wing back, Ben Hardu, haven't really gone up forward, haven't really been able to do much overlap. Whereas the Hume players, we've seen there, even Addis has been able to get forward, especially in the second half. And we know that Kador is also get forward and part of creating the goal. So that's one, maybe a tweak there that Eric Vassalatos needs to look at, something a few more overlaps.
Well, opportunity now. Cross comes in. Bayou, and he punishes them. As simple as that. Adusu Bayou makes it a double.
Fantastic finish there by Adusu Bayou, just right at the spotter. Just a great pass, and I think there's a bit of tiredness now in the Sunshine Georgies, or the Caroline Spring Georgies defence. George Cross took them to derive the ball, and just a quick finish, and that's the danger when you've got players of that calibre. A quick transition ball, a quick crossover ball, and it was just actually a bit too easy. George Cross will be very disappointed. They put a lot of hard work into this. They've created some chances. The players, putting a lot of pressure, pressing, and that was just too easy, Alex.
Yeah, Debele just put it on a platter for Bayou. He makes it 7 for the season. More importantly, he makes it 4 for Hume City. And George is now, they've just got to continue playing. Got a big game on Tuesday, as we said, against Williamstown. But then after that, they've got obviously South Melbourne. So cross comes in, Oldfield spills it. They're able to clear. Bayou, good control there. He shrugs off the tackle. Going forward now. They're looking for the kill here, Hume. Good work there from Bernardo. Mustafa. Could that earlier miss just haunt George Cross now, is the question.
Yeah, that's, it was also a great save by Oldfield as well. But yes, we haven't seen what we saw in the first half. Few opportunities for both teams. It was very tight, not many creative outlets, and it hurts. I mean, that as you said, Dembele gets the ball across. It was too easy for Hume. I mean, really, it's actually Eric Castellanos would be very disappointed with that, especially Bay, who just made it too easy.
Hume clear, and they're in the box seat now. I'll look to make a change. Number 10 and number 11. So Burkhan, Curta coming off. Coming on is Josh Bingham. I mean, what a substitution that is with Josh Bingham. We know how dangerous he is. And Hume looked to inflict more pain into George Cross here.
Yeah, Josh Bingham, a very experienced campaigner, very good in the air. Even this year, I think it's the third highest in aerial duels. He's got very good in the air, especially at this time of the game, very late. Always good to have someone very strong in the air, and just a good option. And that's the thing about Hume. They've got some players that are really into form, and their forward momentum this year, especially this part of the season, Them and Avondale and even Melbourne City are all climbing and looking dangerous.
Nervy moments there as Filer managed to get a full Mustafa out wide, but just not doing the simple things at the moment, George Cross. They've got to try and somehow at least get it. If they can get a third goal, it's still not out of reach for them, but it's highly looking likely that's going to occur. That, as we said, that Mustafa miss is definitely just taking the sting out of the game. Georgies now just need to keep pushing on forward. Marzies, he fancies himself, but that's going to go wide.
Mars has been a little bit ambitious there, but it's all about intensity now, man management for the Georgies. They can't just put their heads down. There's got to be that intensity, still keep going to the end. There are more goals in this match. They've just got to find that opportunity. And we know one thing about Hume is sometimes they will allow some opportunities to be created, and so the Georgies really still got to keep pressing.
Oldfield, Spiteri, and Bingham just happy to see that one go over the line. That is to bring it back into play. Hume now just going to control the game from here. They know they don't need to do anything silly, just Zoutsidis pushing his way through. 13 minutes left to still play. Plenty of time left. Can Georgia step up to the plate? If the scoreline stays like this, it will be back-to-back losses for them. So testing times for the promoted side. We've seen the promoted sides this season have a mixed bag of results, especially with Bentley. They're in the same position. It's just pushing him back now into that from 7th to 10th now. That gap is really tight, and every point here on in over the next couple of weeks is going to matter. James looking for options, goes to Benadu. Mustafa gets it back for Georgies, needs a bit of assistance. Plays it back to Benadu, who just kept it in. Probably not where you want your forward to be in this late moment of the game as you're chasing goals. They switch it out to the left-hand side, Marzies. And it'll be a goal kick, and it looks like a change here from George Cross. It'll be a double. Maker and Callum Pickford look to come on. Not sure who will be coming off here as 18 and 12, so Luke Lofts will come off. And looks like Nicholas did as well. So could those changes just change the tempo a little bit here? Try to get Georgies a third goal. Flicked on, Bayou. Filer recovers, finds James.
Second substitution, George Cross coming off, number 18.
Got to be careful here.
12, Callum Pickford.
Benatu. Streaming forward. I mentioned earlier on, Peter, the wing backs just not going forward. It's a lovely ball down the line. Oldfield will get there first. An experienced campaigner. Make sure he safely claims it.
You mentioned a good port earlier, Alex. When you got Whiteley and Yaku picking up the ball close to the halfway line, that's just not in the attacking frame. But Pickford looks a very lively player. He look very fast, very dynamic. Mac is a natural 6, I would say. So don't know if you're trying to hold and not concede, but he does have a good surge on him. But Pickford now looking very lively.
He's one of those tricky players on his feet, very good. You know, he can make twisting and turning as looks like a triple substitution here. It'll be Joshua Wilkins, number 4, Tyler Shrivers, number 17, Munib Adus. So coming off Christopher Engelhardt. Zahi Aris will come off. Kota Kadua comes off, and number 4, Taylor Shrivers. So just experienced campaigning Shrivers, former of Green Gully. Shrivers will look to make sure that Leo Marzis is contained, as Zoutsidis again, probably been Georgie's best player, him and Marzis.
I think Filer as well has done a steady job, although they have conceded 4 goals, has been there. You know, see Muniba Deuce, who's an ex-A-League player with the Jets, and I think the Western as well, is coming on to have that kind of depth. They mentioned Shrivers as well, experienced campaigner. He's on a 2-year deal.
Here he is now. Oh, it's a good save there from Siciliano. It is a corner now.
And Hume not holding back, Shriver straight into it, taking on the match and creating that opportunity. But Hume's got quite a bit of depth. You've got Bingham came on as well. That this is a team that, especially for the second half of the season, has to be taken as one of the contenders, because they have got the depth and they've got some really classy players, and just really they're very well positioned with a bit of this momentum.
Will be corner here for Hume now. Cross comes in. Oh, it's bounced for Bayou. I don't think he was expecting it to come through him. It could have been his hat-trick. They can't afford to make concede another goal, Georges. Back-to-back 5-2 losses will definitely, you know, the confidence is low when you lose a couple of games, but lose back-to-back 5-2 games, the confidence will be an all-time low.
Not in an NPL where it's been tight, but most teams on each day can do quite well. It hurts, those back-to-back losses. Next week you mentioned South Melbourne. I think South Melbourne, most of them will still be in Auckland, so they'll play more of the 23s like they did against Heidelberg. Is that an opportunity? But you can't take anything for granted. It's getting tight.
Yep.
And we always got to remember, 3 get relegated, not 2, and not 1 playoff. So it's a lot at stake.
So testing times for George Cross here. Under 7 minutes left to go, plus stoppage time.
And there's one other spanner in the works with all the NPL is with A-League clubs releasing players. And we've got a window, maybe a small window coming up, you know, in about 5-6 weeks. Could change the balance as well.
Absolutely. And you think that you know, the teams at the top will look to assure themselves a spot in the finals, where the teams outside the 6 and the relegation, you know, would players want to come to those sides? So you're going to have to offer something really important there. So, look, it's testing time as substitution here. Number 23, Ross Vasiliadis will come on. Justin Spiteri will come off, so Vasiliadis will move to that left-back role. That'll allow Benadu to stream forward. He's playing at right wing at the moment, so you've got to throw everything in the kitchen sink now. Maker. Vasiliadis. Whiteley. Zoutsidis. Those balls just need to be a little bit more cleaner. Filer. Benadu. Looks to go direct, but straight to Calva, who sends it back.
You can see Hume there with their shape, 5 across, 5 in front, defending these last couple of minutes against George Cross, keeping that shape, keeping that discipline, very important, because yes, 4-2 up, but sometimes can become a bit complacent, you know, lose a bit of concentration or confidence, but you can see the players working across, all contributing vertically, and hunting for the ball, and you can see now where Yakub's getting the ball right up very deep.
Bernardo puts a deep ball into the box. Fight. It was Whiteley. Comes back out. Vasiliadis. James. Another cross into the box. Oldfield took a slip there, and it is a corner. So is there one last chance here? We've got under 4 minutes left to go plus stoppage time. Can Georgies find a late consolation goal? Will definitely be a frenetic finish if they can. Cross comes in, it's looking for the back post. It's going to be another corner. Just having a look here at the substitution here, Peter. I think they're going to be swapping goalkeepers. No. Sorry, it looked like he had a...
No, he's got the yellow vest on. Yes, it looked like a goalkeeper, but no, he's not. Number 21 is not the goalkeeper, or sorry, the second goalkeeper for
Sukimoto there. Yeah. So it's corner here now. It's a deep ball again. They go straight to Oldfield. As Oldfield just holding it up now. Sends a direct ball to Bele. Zoutidis goes back to Siciliano. Maker. Silianis plays it into Marzi's, playing that sort of middle type role. It's a good ball down the line now. Chance for Pickford, trying to get it into the box. It is a good cross there, all headed away by Shrivers. Bayu skips past the challenge now, so Georgie's got to get numbers behind the ball. Adusu Bayu. And James is there to clean up as they'll make the substitution now. Number 9, Godfrey Debele will come off. Number 21, Aki Tsukamoto. So 2 minutes left to go here in this final game of round 12, the Chanel NPL Victoria match. And Aki Tsukamoto will come on and see out the last couple of minutes here.
Tsukamoto, another Japanese player who's embellishing the level. We're seeing a lot of this in the Australian NPL, but also a little bit in the A-League, and it's good to see some of these very technical players at that extra dimension.
Adus, to cross in as Marzi's. Moves it down the field, Mustafa. Well, Marzi's missed it. James. Maker. Plays it up the field, but straight down the throat of Braden Spink, who goes back to Oldfield. Waiting for the fourth official to see how many minutes they will add to this game.
It hasn't been a game in the second half end-to-end like we had the first half. I mean, a lot of intensity in that first half. Both teams really taking the game on. But Hume rode out a little bit of a wave. There was that window for George Cross to get that equaliser. Great save there by Oldfield. And then Hume have got that sort of firepower to hurt you, especially on transition, especially when you're searching a goal and seeing this game out.
Going forward now, Pickford. There'll be 5 minutes of added time. Gets it to Marzi's. Tries to get back on his left. Pickford just doing too much with the ball at the moment. Cross comes in. Too easy for Oldfield there.
Wrong option there by Pickford. He just went a bit too wide. Lively player, just chose the wrong option and really, allowed the Hume players to get back in defence. It could have went a little bit lateral and opened up the opportunity.
Oldfield gets us back underway. Zoutidis sends it back to where it came from. be careful here now. Hume is one cleared on top of the roof. To go long but change their mind as Vasiliadis. Cross comes in. Too easy. James just sends a high ball into the box. Headed down by Calver. James will get it back again. Cross comes in again. Out of the way by Calver. Zoutsidis shoots that one wide.
Probably not the right person to receive the second ball there to try to finish it off. Not saying, but yeah, just wasted opportunity. But you've got to try things, and George Cross still pressing, still pushing forward, still trying to create. Just a few minutes left, and don't want to concede any more goals, but got to finish on a high because they've got a big game next week.
Well, before that, they've got Williamstown in the Doherty Cup on Tuesday night, so they have to pick themselves off the ground and try to at least push their way through in that game and forget about this one here. Another chance here as Hume push forward. And it'll be a throw as we play 2 out of the 5 added minutes.
I think a lot of the teams will now be looking at Hume with a different lens. They've had they've had a few slip-ups in that, but on their day with this, with a deep bench with 4 or 5 players who are really creative, and we mentioned all them during today's commentary, they're going to a very dangerous team, and someone is going to be looked upon as a contender, I would say, even though we're only close to halfway through the season.
Well, this win here will put them in 3rd place, so Filer put the challenge through. So Hume now just patiently waiting for the full-time whistle to go. They've done their job today. They put the goals in the back of the net at important moments of the game. It's when it mattered the most. For George Cross, it's that same old if you don't put your chances away, you get punished, and they've been punished once again. And you can just see, just in this passage of play here, just those little balls, Peter, that just get them out of trouble and allow them to, not be put under the pump, not be pressurised and, waste the opportunity like we've seen George's a couple of times, just wasting the ball, whereas Hume feel like they're a lot more calmer when the pressure's on them in that tight spots.
Yes, you can tell they've got quite a few players who can handle the tight spaces, the short passes, the triangles, as I mentioned earlier. They're much more efficient in that regard, and control the game a little bit better, and feel like they've got that extra second, whereas sometimes the Georges, a couple of their players are rushing, especially coming from the midfield to the attack. They're not getting into the channel fast enough, and this always is an issue. But we can correct these issues. There's no doubt about that. But the Georges just have to just finish this game strong.
Chance there is Oldfield just bobbled out.
Whiteley there probably took his eyes on the ball. They had a second ball coming and just took his eyes, thought that Oldfield had it and fumbled it a little bit. And then they're the little moments. Sometimes you just got to pay attention to detail.
And that'll be the full-time whistle in this round 12 Chanel NPL Victoria match. It'll be the visitors Hume City taking all 3 points thanks to a double from Adusu Bayu, Burkan Kadur and Burkan Kira. And for George Cross, it was Leo Marzis and Morgan Filer. Well, Peter, it's a tough all evening for the George Cross, back-to-back losses as Hume City. That's their 3rd straight win in a row and put themselves in 3rd spot. Then they are really looking like a dangerous team.
Yes, they are. There's 2 stories here. Hume, we mentioned they're on the upside. Great performance, showed their repertoire of attacking ability, kept it also tight at the back, were put under pressure, which was a good sign. George Cross came back at them, but they still finished the game strong. Second half was different to the first. First half was probably the best halves we've seen in NPL this season, with two marvellous goals, two cracking goals, I would say. And anyone hasn't watched the early part of the match, please go back and watch that. George Cross will be disappointed. Good work ethic, press as much as they could, just lacking a little bit of quality, a little bit of finish. But I think they'll look at it and say, all right, we need to change it around, and these next matches are very important, including the cup match. Let's see where we can improve. They've got a very hard-working team, just lacking that little bit of quality. Whereas Hume, very, very interesting team, one that's going to be watched by a lot of other teams and playing a good brand of football. And you mentioned very good in the tight spaces, which is very important in NPL.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. It's round 12 NPL Victoria match. On behalf of Peter Pelagos, the team here, and myself, Alex Sivkorowski, we thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. There's plenty of football during the week, and next week is round 13. Thank you for watching. Well, Georgie fans, that's a tough pill to swallow. It is a back-to-back losses for the boys. I know they'll be hurting, and I'm sure they'll be looking forward to that Tuesday Doherty Cup clash, which will be televised, and I'll be on that one to commentate. We want to thank our matchday sponsor, Visit Malta. From world-class football facilities to crystal clear waters and historic cities, Malta is the perfect destination for sport, culture and relaxation. Visit Malta, a Mediterranean experience like no other. We also want to thank Deca. The Deca Trifecta weekend is coming to Shepparton on the 1st and 2nd of August. 3 challenges, 1 goal to prove your fitness. Can you do it? Make sure you sign up for the Deca Trifecta weekend in Shepparton on the 1st and 2nd of August. Well, thank you all for tuning in and supporting the boys. I know they'll be hurting, but your support will definitely help them. It's a big game coming up on Tuesday against Williamstown in a Doherty Cup. It's a chance for us to redeem ourselves. And then we've got the big one on Monday night the following week against South Melbourne. Have a fantastic weekend wherever you are, and hopefully we can see the boys get back to winning ways. Thank you for watching.